Andy and Jeff, I wanted to ask you about this. We're starting to see games that, feel next gen. We saw Battlefield, we saw Metal Gear Solid 5, which they're saying is current gen, but presumably is a next gen game. We're starting to see these games, and they're not really tied to specific platforms or systems. They're just these next gen games. And in the past, I think those games would get announced kind of, on stage as part of a console announcement. So, is there a risk to Microsoft that now these other great games are being shown, Sony's showing some stuff when they finally come out? I mean, how much further can they take the games? How much more WoW is left when they reveal the system?
Well, I mean, I think there's definitely WoW. I mean, I think like in anyone in a gunfight, you're going to save a couple bullets, right? So I mean, you're going to come to E3 and have some game surprises. I think from both sides, that they know they have to, right? And so, and they know they're going to overshadow their own product because everyone's going to have that one that's going to be the big deal that I think they're going to really, push forward with. Right. So, and it's going to be games that I think kind of explain their services. I mean, I think they're really going to be trying to show how it works with their controller, it works with their cameras, and like all the new, items that to entice people, what I mean, all play a part in that. So I think that we'll see the biggest guns at E3.
Yeah. And Sony's like already planning to hit back. That you know that they're somewhere in a bunker going like, all right, we know Microsoft's just going to announce everything we didn't. So they'll show the box. They'll do these sorts of things that people perceived as weakness out of Sony.
Yeah.
So that they're sitting there going like, that's cool. We've got this stuff. And whether they wait till E3 or whether they just go into full-on reactive mode and it's 2 days after Microsoft goes, just go, well, we got that stuff too. Well,
I mean, on February we did not see Naughty Dog, who works on on a building that has a hardware team that's hidden behind a red door. You know what I mean? Like, I think you might see a game from Naughty Dog at E3. They work closely with hardware. They're going to be there. They're going to have the ability to show us some things that we've not seen because I think obviously the history of Naughty
Dog. Put it on the bingo card right now.
Yeah, I definitely would put that on the bingo card. And so there will be big games, and I think every time I see a new kind of next gen game or even being here at the show, I mean I'm seeing more opportunity for next gen consoles, to improve, I think substantially, how we play games and how they work, and it's more than just graphics.
Right.
I mean, we're seeing how they're going to enable new AI techniques, and I think the developers are really like just now figuring out how they can use these new powers, and new room and more RAM, to give us better experiences.
And with the situation being what it is right now, all they can say is this is a PlayStation 4 game.
Exactly.
They can't, and like everyone knows what that means. It's like obviously this stuff isn't going to all be exclusive or anything like that, but they can't say. It's
no, you're right. We're not getting a full picture because even now their games being announced, like even Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm pretty sure that's probably going to come for some of these next-gen systems. But it's like, it's coming to Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And it just doesn't, no one's really telling the full truth right now about any of these games.
Well, and the thing is, too, I think there's a real thing going on in the video game industry as a whole, and this is, over and above PlayStation or over and above Microsoft, is that, we're still getting giant premium games, and they're still generating billions of dollars, right? But there are legions of people here at GDC that are making games on an independent level, a self-publishing level, and like Microsoft has, pissed these people off, basically, what I mean? And Sony is sitting there saying, like, they want to embrace these people, you know what I mean? They're giving these people an opportunity, and now, what happens in this larger battle of like services and AAA games is just, I think, a piece of the story.
You're right.
The other part of that story, I went to an indie showing with Sony the other day. These kids were thrilled, to have the opportunity, not to be like, to make a game for PlayStation, you know what I mean? Like, these are guys who grew up playing games, and it's been a dream to make a PlayStation game, and they're giving them the opportunity, to do it and make money. Not pay $50,000 to fix some bugs.
And Microsoft sounds like it's moving the exact opposite direction with that stuff, just getting more and more difficult to work with, which, I think some of that is extending over to some of the retail publishers as well. Like, it's weird out there right now. It's really crazy. It's the flip of the last time around where now Microsoft's kind of seeming a little arrogant with this stuff, and Sony's just wide open arms like, come help us, save us, like let's fix this platform. And
it's going to make for an
that's
interesting
how
race
the Xbox 360 got to the top. So,
and the other thing too, I think Microsoft has a history too of like designing products to be very, very American. You know what I mean? I think sometimes they forget the global market. And I think that that's an important thing that like Sony, even I know people would say Sony lost this round, and I could see how you could say without how successful PlayStation 2 was. Obviously, PlayStation 3 is a failure compared to PlayStation 2, but like globally, it's doing pretty well. They're selling a lot of units. They're doing very well in Europe. There is more to the story than like making sure that Americans can change their channel with their next Xbox, right? You know what I mean? Like there is more to this story that we're going to get to, and I think what people want and how people engage this stuff is going to be really key. You know, I think services isn't like, can I pay for this or can I, you know, get a game that's free? Services is how easy is this? How comfortable is it? How quickly can I just get into a game, play a game, update a game? I mean, that's a service. You know what I mean? Like that's like when you go to a restaurant, you have great service, you never even notice it, right?
You can load your game and don't have to find your game disc.
Yeah.
You know, scrounge around and see where's my Call of Duty disc, all that stuff. So. All right, well, when we come back, we are going to talk more about the next-gen battle between Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo right here in the bonus round.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.